On Detroit's east side, Detroit Future City and Arboretum Detroit are hosting a ribbon cutting at a new trail. The project was the handiwork of thousands of volunteers and residents creating a neighborhood trail and community space. The ceremony is just getting underway. Let's listen in.
Landscape with life, restoring it with indigenous plant species marked with their indigenous names. To be clear, these acts alone do not produce a reparative outcome, and our work is not finished. We cannot erase the trauma inflicted on the original peoples of this land, nor for the families whose homes once stood here. However, through this project, we have, in a small but not insignificant way, sought to begin a healing process and make a better way forward for this land and our earth. The planning, design, and development process of Circle Forest has been a collaborative effort between Detroit Future City and Arboretum Detroit. Detroit Future City was first invited into this community in 2018 to partner with the East Ferry Warren Community Association. There's a long history of resident-led land stewardship in this neighborhood. It has been a privilege and joy to support projects such as Arboretum Detroit's Tree Nursery and Field Temple through our Working with Lots program. We then worked with residents on the creation of the East Ferry Warren Green Space Vision Plan and facilitated a design and planning process to create a more accessible pathway network to connect and enhance community green spaces through the neighborhood. Arboretum Detroit purchased these 12 vacant lots from the Detroit Land Bank Authority, and we jointly applied for funding to implement this project. And in 2021, we were grateful to receive a grant from the Southeast Michigan Resilience Fund, managed by the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. The U.S. Forest Service, Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, Herb Family Foundation, and the Kresge Foundation all contributed through this fund. And without this support, the project would not have been possible. We are also fortunate to receive funding from the AARP Foundation, General Motors Foundation, and the City of Detroit's Neighborhood Beautification Program. These important contributions allowed us to incorporate additional improvements and amenities to the site. Additionally, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service donated native seed, technical assistance, and management of the invasive species found here on the site. I also want to recognize that we were fortunate to work with a number of Detroit-based businesses, and in many cases, neighborhood-based businesses for contract work on this project, including Team Yagella for the pathway and hardscaping, Eminent Contracting for the sidewalks, St. Aubin Woodworks for the deck and the boardwalk and this beautiful bench that you're sitting on, Monk Morelli for the fire ring design and picnic table install, Paul Wirtz and Tim Nutt for rough grading and site clearing, Singing Tree and Amanita Tree Service for arborist work, Open Works LLC for the community kiosk and bulletin board, and Eli at Ace Archiving for the interpretive signage. This project has truly been a team effort, and at DFC we are so fortunate to have an inspirational leader in our corner to guide all of our work. And with that, I want to introduce Anika Goss, CEO of Detroit Future City.
Thank you, Sarah. Wow. I mean, this is really incredible, right? That we're in this space this morning. I think the first thing that I want to do is thank our partners at Arboretum Detroit. Here you are, Birch and Kinga. You guys are just absolutely you're just amazing. And what an honor it is to be able to work in this community with residents, and for the result to then turn out like this. It is, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude that you've allowed us to work with you in this way. And so this project is 1.3 acres, and it started in July of 2021. And this is basically if you're looking, this is basically a neighborhood block, or some of a block, most of a block. And to think the whole idea, the concept that this neighborhood already knew is that you can actually transform a neighborhood without bricks and mortar. That your neighborhood can be beautiful with open space, with community spaces and places for people to come together. And this neighborhood, I would encourage you afterwards to explore the other beautiful gardens that are in this neighborhood already. There's a green path that's already here that will connect Circle Forest to the other green spaces throughout this neighborhood. You've done it. You've transformed your own community. And what an honor for us to just be a part of it with you. This kind of neighborhood redevelopment is really a part of what we're trying to do at Detroit Future City. We began a strategic effort about 2 years ago where we can really think about neighborhoods from a resilience perspective. So we want to consider neighborhoods that are destination places and places where families can grow their wealth, grow their family of diverse incomes and backgrounds. But what we also want to make sure that we're doing is working to disrupt systemic racism. And beautiful green spaces in a neighborhood, intentional spaces that were once blighted, is doing exactly that. This is a part of our strategic effort. This is the first one. We hope it's the first of many. I want to thank the staff that's here today that was a part of this. Sarah, of course, who was our fearless leader on this and believed in it when Tom and I were like, what in the world? A forest in this neighborhood? What are you talking about? And so Sarah, you did it. This was really incredible. Kate Cherry, who raised all of that money and wrote all of the grants. Patrick, who knows every single flower plant, but not only that, also engaged Patrick and Sarah Peterson that also helped make it a community effort. So they're not only identifying each flower and tree that goes in here, but also making sure that the community was also a part of that process. Nicole Brown, who was so involved with the community engagement. Shay Dockery, I think Shay was an intern with us. Shay worked on this project as well. And even former staff, Susan Rusanowski. And most important, I see a couple of board members that are here. Steve Ogden is in the back. I don't see anyone else. That might just be you. But yeah, that's all we need. But it's our board that has really also behind us in this bold effort. It's ambitious. It's even a little risky. And we're just so pleased to be able to share this ribbon cutting with you today. I'm just overwhelmed with the possibility of what can come from this community space. So congratulations, team. Congratulations, Arboretum Detroit team. We're so glad to be partners with you all in this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mika. And we already mentioned over and over how this was a collaborative effort between DFC and Arboretum Detroit. There is no way that this project would have turned out as successfully as it had been if this was just DFC on its own. The process of working together with Arboretum Detroit was iterative, deliberative. We learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I think we really grew together as individuals and organizations. And we are really richer for having worked together and really fortunate for the partnership. I want to bring up Birch Kemp, Executive Director of Arboretum Detroit. And with him will be Robin Redding, Park Maintenance Assistant of Arboretum Detroit.
Wow, okay. Yeah, Sarah said it. We're like a family. Our little DFC and Arboretum Detroit team. It's very cool. And I got a couple things I'd like to say if I can. I'm happy to be here with you all at Circle Forest, a place that didn't exist 3 years ago and is now so central to our neighborhood that I wouldn't want to live here without it. We have so many people and organizations to thank. That's longer than you want to be here, so I'm going to focus on thanking Detroit Future City and offering gratitude for our partnership. From Arboretum Detroit's inception in 2019, we've worked with Detroit Future City. They've inspired our work and supported our vision to reforest our neighborhood and build a public arboretum. They've helped us become all that we dreamed. They were here at the beginning asking the right questions like, don't you want a tree nursery? Surely we did. That was a catalyst for everything that we've become since. It was really, really important. The next right question was when we started looking to apply for the Southeast Michigan Resilience Fund grant, and that was something like, you guys want a little help with that? And we really didn't know how much help we would need. Sarah seemed to know, Kate seemed to know, so actually we flipped the script and we didn't apply. Detroit Future City applied, and we were like a partner, so that was great. As they say, the rest is history, and what we say is the rest is the future. An amazing partnership was born in the application and execution of the project. The dream of creating a public arboretum, a cherished green space in the cracks of our neglected neighborhood. We're living the dream of bringing together folks who love the earth and love Detroit, and I see so many of you out there right now. Many of us believe that the city's greatest gift to us is its green space, potential, and clearly the reality. We're honored to be the stewards of land in ways that would be impossible and unthinkable in any other city. This is not the kind of work one gets paid for. These hundreds of volunteers who have put in over 1,700 hours, it's because the work itself is the reward. We're healing abused land. I hope all of us know the feeling. It's as simple as picking up a piece of trash on your block. We've all been there. First, you're annoyed, frustrated that someone could treat the land that way. Then you remove it from the landscape and you feel empowered and you feel the liberation of the land and of yourself. So in a nutshell, Circle Forest is this simple act of caring and liberation times a billion. Times every act out here, every tree planted, every piece of garbage picked up. Together with these volunteers, organizations, the design team at DFC, the funders, and even the visitors have built is a church, a temple, a shrine. Circle Forest has been and will be a place for so many of us lost in ecological grief to sing our praise songs to the earth. We've come here to put things back together, to reverse in some small way the harms done to this place. It's a gesture to our beyond human kin, the plants, the trees, the wildlife, and our neighbors who have experienced some of this society's greatest harms here at the tail end of this modern extraction economy. We need places to sometimes just forget about it, and sometimes to take action against it. In either case, it's a refuge. It's a place to take a deep breath in the shade and the loving embrace of trees. And with our help, the landscape can breathe again and the land can express herself. I would like, thank you. I would like to introduce somebody who's been an amazing part of this journey, huge part of the family. You don't even know. Some of you know. Somebody who takes care of these trees and has grown with the trees. Without her, we would have lost trees, and we don't really lose trees. We planted 500 trees and we've lost maybe 2 trees, and that's not because of lack of care. Yeah, Robin has grown with the trees. She knows the names of every tree out here. She knows intimately every tree because she waters these trees. She spends more time with these trees than anybody. It's an amazing job, I think, and we're honored to be able to hire somebody to do that. And it's an honor to work with Robin Reddy.
Hello. Hi, I'm Robin. I'm park maintenance for Arboretum Detroit. And basically what that boils down to is I am caretaker for everything that goes into the ground. And it is opened up like so many doors for me and opportunities and things that I want people like me to be able to do continuously in the future and have the bravery to do it. And it means a lot to me. Like First said, I have literally grown with these trees. Like some of these trees I watered last year and they're taller than me now. So it's like, oh my God, what's going on here? But it's good to see the fruits of your labor come into action, and especially with people coming and having their hands in on everything that you're doing with you, and knowing that everybody who's coming here to work here and help out cares, and we all on the same page. And a little backstory: I'm a neighborhood resident a long time. My grandparents lived here 60, 70 years ago, and I have come through here a lot and just seen the destruction, the blight, and all of it, but being able to like actually be a part of the cleanup of that and like transform it is like godsend. Like I wish my grandparents could see what's happening now, because they would love it. And when I'm out here, I'm watering, I'm weeding, or whatever I'm doing, I'm planting trees, I'm digging holes and falling in them and whatever. It's just, I like to keep in mind about the people of Whole Town that lost their homes at one point. So we cannot forget about that. They don't deserve to be forgotten about, because that was an evil thing that happened to them. And unfortunately, but fortunately, the reason why we are able to even stand here is because of that. And every time I'm out here, every time I'm watering something, I think of every family that lost their house here. My mom was included in that. And because of that, I guess I'm able to be born, but I mean, if who would have known if that would have never happened, I would have never been here, because she probably would have stayed here and lived a totally different life. But I like the remembrance is key to everything that we do and everything that I do. And I plant trees in the name of people that can't speak up for themselves. And I speak up for the trees because they can't speak up for themselves. I've had people come while I'm here and complain about nature. And I'm like, dude, you're in the wrong space for that. But I welcome it, and it's okay. I understand all of that. I understand the adversity and the opposition, because people have fear. But I want this to be a place that fear can move on, and where you can come here and like get to learn plants and get to learn every tree and meet people and like fall back in love with the thing that you don't care about anymore or never cared about. And it offered that to me. It's a very healing space. First year on the job, had a pretty rough year. I cried every day up here. And if these trees could talk, they'll tell you my life story. Like, they know me, and I know them, and I know their life story. I know where they come from and everything. I know who they are. And I'm a very interpersonal person. I'm very personable. I love hands-on, face-to-face. Let's unite as people. And doing this has allowed that. Like, I have met so many beautiful people that run through here, and I'm friends with them to this day, 3-4 years later. And that's what it's all about to me, is relationship and being a kind person to people and caring about people and living things. Respect to the wildlife, respect to the people. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin and Bert, for sharing your stories and your wisdom. We are fortunate to have the support of many people working at the City of Detroit, working to make it easier for community groups to creatively address vacant land issues in their own neighborhoods and create beloved community spaces. Last summer, the city redid a number of sidewalks in the neighborhood, and it has made such a difference. And just a couple weeks ago, Arboretum Detroit received a grant from the City of Detroit's Neighborhood Beautification Fund. Our next speaker, Mr. Brad Dick, currently serves as the Chief Operating Officer for the City of Detroit and its more than 9,000 employees. Throughout his years of service at the City of Detroit, he has led the General Services Department. He has championed the restoration of our urban tree canopy and been a key architect of the city's Blight to Beauty campaign. overseeing citywide eradication of graffiti, renovation of more than 160 parks and renovation centers, and the planting of more than 10,000 daffodil bulbs.
Oh, all 4 million.
Sorry, 1 million.
4 million.
Oh, 4 million now. Gotta update that bio. And he has been a catalyst for the transformational Joe Louis Greenway as well. So I hear Brad is also an impressive gardener in his own right.
Right.
And so we are very pleased to welcome Mr. Brad Dick.
Thank you.
Well, I've known Sarah. I've known Sarah for a long time, and I think she probably has a tree in her pocket wherever she goes. So she's great. Robin, your comments were so nice. I really enjoyed them. I like some of the trees can have voices. That was really nice. Well, I've been at the city for 18 years. It's hard to believe, but one of the very first things I got engaged, that's where I met Sarah, was tree planting. It's always been very important to me. And coming by here and seeing all these trees here just kind of makes me happy to see this, because I think we really have to work hard to educate Detroiters on the value of trees. Not only do they cool your house down, but they also cleanse our environment of what we're doing bad to our planet. So thank you for everybody here who's doing their part. I think the city is doing a great job with a lot of things we're trying to do. We've got a lot more to do. In fact, I see one of our city planners right back there. Idris, wave your hand. This is one of our city planners who's championing the Joe Louis Greenway. Deserves a big shout out. He's a great guy too. And he thought he could hide from me, but he knew I like to call him out. So anyway, we're doing all we can. A lot more to do. We've renovating the parks. We said planting. We'll be hitting 4 million daffodil bulbs for the end of for the middle of November across the city. People like that. Renovating the parks, getting rid of the raggedy fences, putting boulders in, and doing all this. But all the work that you're doing here complements that, because we can't be everywhere at once. And hundreds of spaces like this across the city are all going to complement the neighborhoods and make people feel more at home and welcome and loving where they live. So I just want to say thank you for all you've done, and thank you for supporting the city and with what we're doing too. So appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you to all our speakers. Now is the time. We're going to have Kimberly Faison, our Vice President. There you are. Come from behind the curtain. And Kinga Kemp from Arboretum Detroit is going to also hold the ribbon. There you are. All right, so can all of our speakers come on up? And Anika and Birch are going to be in the middle. And cut the ribbon, behind the ribbon. And don't rush away after the ribbon cutting if you haven't gotten a chance to explore the site. Kinga and Sarah Peterson, wave your hand, from our team are going to be leading groups. Okay, she's down at the corner. They're going to be leading 2 separate groups throughout the site.
Steps forward, please. A couple steps forward. Everybody, let's take us a good photo, please. Thank you.
Take a picture, yeah.
A little bit more. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We're about to do it?
Like you're about to cut. Everybody smile. 1, 2,
I cut my daughter's umbilical cord.
One more. All right, thank you.
This is different.
Let's go ahead and cut.
This has not been sanitized.
All right, let's go ahead.
You ready?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
They are.